D Cup, who in the past have been super good on the fly.
Yes, sir. I mean, Omen to me has always been a little bit more dynamic in terms of what you call a sentinel, what you call a duelist. So yeah, even then, Beast Coast going for way more aggressive of a take. But in we go, folks. Map number 1 between Envy and Beast Coast here for the round of 32. And currently, you have the boys of Envy starting to have an inkling that it's an A take after a bit of a push to B main.
Yeah, super early rotations, like you said, that push towards B main, getting a whole lot of information. Big slow orbit in the back, but Envy are playing this extremely well so far. They're playing conservative. They're not giving up early picks, and Caboose maybe looking to pick an early fight, and he does end up finding the first. Players are dropping all around in Envy. It's been a very solid defense so far, and now it's just B-Dog. He stands no chance in this position. A quick 1-0 start for Envy as they look clean so far in the pistol round.
Yeah, super clean. Beast Coast, they wanted a whole lot of control over towards the back line, but the wall from Kohler, if anything, was able to isolate a couple of players from the Envy side, so it wasn't exactly the timing that they wanted, but the setup to me was a little bit more than optimal.
So far, so good, I'd say, at least on the side of Envy, right? You get a clean pistol round start. Beast Coast, where's the recovery now going to be? They're definitely not going to have the guns they were hoping to get. Obviously, now they're going to have to settle with just pistols. But this round, we always say it, Gus, it's all about economic damage. See what you can get from this one. Food, a very aggressive angle here so far. And that finesse, he's just going to try and support him. So Beast Coast, what can they really get from this one? Food already can find the first frag. I don't expect too much from this one. Beast Coast, I think they're going to be lucky if they can get away with 1 or 2 kills at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the eco damage. At least we talk about it a lot of CS, but it's not exactly as impactful in Valorant. But you know, it's still around. But they certainly need the kills to actually get there. Flawless. Food still on the front line. He ends up getting a 3. So easy peasy stuff. We do head into the 3rd round where Beast Coast, they do get up their rifles. Envy on a bonus.
Yeah, here finally Beast Coast. The guns will be in their hands. Envy with the, like you said, full bonus here. No worries whatsoever. And I think Beast Coast, like we said, a very straightforward agent composition. I imagine a lot of very critical hits, right? They're not going to do too many fakes. You have the agent comp. We see this bird time and time again. Tig is going to try and get the early information. But Envy, at least in that first one on the pistol, they're very keen to play those retakes, right? We see them sit in the back lines, play for those early picks. Caboose on their raids instead of Omen. Slight changes made so far, and Beast Coast, how are they going to adjust? Like right here, Crashy's going to get a lot of information, right? Already taking their early spot. They have that turret on the B side as well. I mean, they're getting all the reads that there's nothing towards this B side, and it's given them the opportunity to make super early rotations. And with Crashy spawning a first, Gus, it's already looking really good for Envy as they're starting to push forward and getting more map control in this A site.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, just thinking about the setup from Beast Coast, at least a little bit early on. Envy, they've already proven themselves to be very reactionary in terms of the rotations, and also just very control heavy. We don't see Beast Coast trying to make too much space early on either. They're really just trying to go for a util setup, which is a little bit more safe than what they tried to go for in the pistol round. But this, when I mentioned space, you could have none other than Jammies actually trying to jump on in. Mame, he could definitely get cut off from a higher up position. Beautiful stuff from Jammies. It's that same wall that's about to get shut down. Envy, they want to fight this immediately. In comes the flash. In goes the wide swing. Caboose gets one. Kohler still able to get that plant down, but Food directly there. And that's that fast pace that we were expecting. And now Beast goes down to 1 in B-Dog. The bonus turns into a dub. Envy survives with 3.
It's such a struggle round for Beast Coast because you see the idea they have is we need to control the left side of sight. We throw the wall up. We try and take that early fight. I think it was Tig looking for an early peek on that left side. And they don't get control. They kind of just sit back and wait. It gives Envy all that room in the world in the back of sight to kind of play around, throw the utility, get control wherever they need, right? The nanostorms dropped by FNS to force players back. I mean, Beast Coast, it's a good take. They play very slow, but Envy are there immediately to respond, right? The read is super solid so far. They understand what Beast Coast's game is and how they want to maintain control. Flashes go out from Vu to keep them from that left side of sight, and it is a very difficult round for Beast Coast to lock down, or at least the site to lock down. Moving forward, it's a light buy for them. Again, not going to expect too much. Another A-side execution. Tig going to try and get some early info. And Envy, does anything change from Beast Coast? I mean, already they're expecting the A hit. There are 4 players here already.
And they want to just fight this in the back line. Caboose with a 3K. Food looking for another one in the back line. He already has the full ult orb anyway, so it's still going to be Crashes actually with a return back. Kohler still fighting up on his own. But yeah, 4-0 for Envy. Yet another one where Beast Coast, they force out a little bit more. They get the upgraded pistols, but not able to do all that much damage. I like this early aggression from Envy in these back main points, because at this point, Beast Coast, we're seeing a little bit of an effect that they don't exactly know how to react, or they're not getting the right picks to really make their way through. No control taken, no space being made.
And it's not necessarily that they can't get the control. It's that Envy aren't gonna
They're not
just
allowing
let them slip. Exactly. So Envy, it's kind of like a push and pull. They'll push up. Like here we have Food getting super aggressive. Mummy with the operator as well, playing on top of the pipes, and then they pull away as soon as they get the info they want. As soon as they get the kills that they want early on, they'll pull out almost instantly. And so Beast Coast, it's a matter of how do they read the tides? How can they find the opportune moment to strike? Already, you've got Caboose pushed up so deep. He's got all the info that there are no rotations. And Envy early on are going to gamble. If Beast Coast want to play this style, they need to commit very quickly. This is not the style that you want. And Envy are playing a really good job of kind of slowing down these pushes and understanding what the game so far of Beast Coast has been.
And Beast Coast again, certainly taking their time, but they got a whole lot of information over towards the back mid line. 4-person stack for Envy once again, and they're going to be able to fight this Beast Coast take in an instant. They'll run it back for Food. I wouldn't be surprised if he just runs on through, and indeed he's not going to be able to get 2 out of it. And there you go. Crashy, same thing. FNS, same thing. Decob, the last one remaining in a 1v5. It's another flawless run for Envy, and did you really expect anything less? I mean, again, it's another 4-man read of the situation, and I can't exactly call it a read. They still had a whole lot of information, but Beast Coast, they fall into the trap again.
Yeah, so again, wondering whether or not Beast Coast are going to finally switch things up. I mean, Envy are just kind of understanding, okay, well, Beast Coast is kind of like the Immortals first strike game where they only hit the A site. So Envy at a certain point is like, well, if they're only hitting the A site, we may as well just stack the A site. It does feel like finally they're going to change things up. A little bit of a difference here for FNS in his Killjoy setup. He drops the turret a lot more aggressively, and he will find some early information. Nanostorm early to pop off. That'll hold players back, and it's going to buy a whole lot of time because you see now the gap created between Jammy's going up first and the rest of his team behind. It gives now Envy more chances to rotate. Already reassurance down towards mid. We see the Owl drone go out to try and clear things out by Crashies, and Caboose taking a whole lot of damage off onto Jammies. Is now Beast Coast. That early rotation, that single turret has bought them so much time. The same thing with that Nanoswarm. They're kind of stuck here, and there's already a flank. Food has got full control down towards the bottom of A main.
Full control. Not only that, but he's getting a whole lot of sound information, especially for Crashies that's sitting up in the mid side. Again, the rotation goes back over towards B main, but it's just Beast Coast just biding their time. See if they can get a clean plant on site. They ended up pulling off that wall a little bit too early, and the gap has already been made, but in comes Decop. He's fully flashed. He runs right into the crosshair of FNS. B-Dog. Ooh, he actually gets one back, but Food actually explodes in the back lines, and everyone from Envy is just winning out their battle right now. One last player remaining, and it's Tig with a couple of flashes to hold back. Again, plant was down, but it wasn't exactly clean, and Beast Coast, that's all they really wanted. A little bit more economy back, but Envy still keeps it clean. If I'm not mistaken, there are a couple of players on full 9K too. The ultis are building. It's a tough time right now for Beast Coast to try to make their way through, but there's a full 6 rounds left in the half.
Yeah, I mean, Envy right now don't really have to do much. They're playing the game extremely well, getting control. They understand so far what Beast Coast have been wanting to do. And now Beast Coast, Jammies will finally be able to pick up the operator. Maybe he can find an early pick on the back of A site, but we always talk about how difficult it is, especially with a guy like Mame, who's been an expert so far in operating on Icebox. See if he can find an early pick. East Coast, if Jammies can get this early frag, it would be huge. Mame taking the peek over towards Belt. Now, who goes into it? No one so far. Jammies takes a different angle, just out of the line of sight of Mame, but he takes a step too far to the left, and he might go down. Now, Tig does end up clearing at least the left side of sight. Ooh, Mame able to find the first frag. That's a huge one. And they've got even more information. Crashy sending out a couple of Hunters. Furies, Caboose using the space down towards mid. There has been one kill. Did go back the way of Beast Coast. They find a second as well, so not too shabby so far. Jammy's still alive with this operator. And this A-side defense, it's slowly starting to fall apart here.
Yeah, 2 players trying to go for the 1v1 interactions. Early picks, they don't exactly work out in their favor, but oh man, Caboose! The one-man fragging machine. He's the one left on the ascent. He's the one holding it back. Jammy still around the corner, double peek. This is efficient, but FNS desperately needed that frag. And the teleport from B-Dog, he actually goes all the way back to B. Not only that, the further rotation's going to come in quick.
You cut off here.
None other than FNS. There you go. FNS was just right there. Even more chip damage being made. This could finally be a round back for Beast Coast with a little bit of damage being made onto their players, though. But again, you got to feel bad for him. Two players in the back line. They could get flanked, Sully.
FNS, he almost had jammies completely with his back turn, and the damage done already. It's one. Ooh. FNS looking for the second. Doesn't find the second frag instantly, but he's still going to try and adjust. There already has been damage done in Beast Coast. Holding on, trying to get this first round. I don't know if you heard the TP go up top, so FNS, there are so many angles to clear. He does see where the spike is. It's actually not planted for him. B-Dog has got to make the drop, and FNS taps the spike to try and bait him out here. FNS still dancing around. The turret giving him the information. Now he knows exactly where he is, and he knows he can stake this one. He's going to get it to at least half, but when does the turret go up? When does he get off of it? There goes the swing, and B-Dog jumps around. First round finally for Beast Coast, but it is such a costly one. There are no bonuses, no players left alive here.
No bonus. They're still going to be able to reinvest. Again, the one gun that really made them the space had to be the op in the hands of Jamie. Same thing with Kohler early on that he ended up picking it off. But again, Beast Coast still made it efficient off the fact that Envy's getting a little bit more confident in towards the back lines. We saw that a lot earlier on in the half, but instead this time it was more 1v1s rather than an organized effort. So Beast Coast now, I don't think they're going to be able to expect too many more rounds of that sort, but it's certainly just a start. Something to get their momentum back, and a whole lot of early util and a whole lot of early aggression as A main it's getting banged out, but Jammies is ready for it, and it's a default this round too.
Yeah, you talk about Envy not getting too overconfident. Well, they do exactly just that. They go straight in to Beast Coast. Food once more. He's been playing super aggressive. He always wants to fight with the same main control in Beast Coast. I like the change. The default, you understand, Envy's been getting super duper aggressive. You try and make those slight adjustments. Smokes drop down towards mid. However, Envy are peering out through it. They're getting the information. So Beast Coast, it is a very, very difficult round to go about. They do have the B site relatively open here, but Food pushing forward. When does the rotation come back from Mummy? Free ult orb allowed. Beast Coast. Take a second just to stop, and Food does end up catching B-Dog with his pants down. Now they know the hits come on in, but there's no utility to stop the plant for now. It should be a retake here for Envy as Beast Coast make their way to the site. FNS with very little resistance as the wall goes up, but he has a player behind him, and FNS fragging out. Same thing with Crashies. It's a lockdown here, and it's going to fall down to Tig. Nothing he can do. Envy, you blink and you miss it. They're immediately onto the site.
And again, it came down to the duelist to try to make as much space as possible over towards the back line. I really did like that dash. It was an opportunity to at least potentially get both FNS and Crashies too. He just needed that first piece of the puzzle. Envy was a little bit more staggered in terms of the rotation in that round, so that could have been completely different, Sully, from the take. But, well, Envy in the end, 7-1 scoreline. It always seems like whenever we're in the booth together, there's always some sort of Brazil-Germany scoreline, and we get it again. My poor heart can't take it, but Beast Coast, I don't think they can take this game either. Eco yet again for them as they just want to go for a half buy, and it's the defensive side that was successful for them the last time that they played Icebox. I think it was against Immortals, or rather that's still in the close qualifiers. That one was a 13-11 though. Immortals was still able to do the same amount of damage to them on the defensive side. But man, oh man, Mummy, he's the one this time with the off, and he's the one more versatile in terms of movement. That is just lovely to see.
Holding it down. Second shot out the sky as well. Now, where do these flashes go through? They have the Seekers available. But now Envy, every single ultimate charged up. And we know Crashies loves to play this position. Crashies knocks down two. He may as well just get the third here. Envy finding 8th in Beast Coast. You walk on in, and they clamp down onto it. Envy in 8th round. Jeez Louise. Envy are looking so good on the defense right now. Nothing you can do at the moment if you're Beast Coast.
Again, too good. Mame.
Oh, the second shot.
Again, stepped up earlier, and that second one again. It's like clay pigeons going skeet shooting. Right out of the air, and Crashies was there. I mean, you said that he loves to play that position, and indeed it's what it is. He loves to play either back left deep or still off that mid choke point of A, and we've seen it so many times already off of NB ice boxes, and well, comes back clutch again, but Jamie's just holding W. Evading that first shot from Mame. Mame still wants to go for that same setup. And ooh, nice read up from Crashies to even check that position. Still, Mame takes him back in the recovery, actually. The revival from Kohler picking up jammies. No one's going to be there to trade it back, so still it's a 4-on-4. And B-Dog, he lets one pass by, but that just leaves Caboose out in his lonesome. 3v4, man advantage for Beast Coast.
Yeah, and here's Beast Coast setting up that Trailblazer to at least get some early info, clear out that left side of sight, but they can retake that instantly. Smoke's dropped on the left side. Yep, Beast Coast are really fighting for this control right now. They should be able to get the spike down, but a lockdown, that should be the biggest threat, or at least the biggest weight on their minds right now. Mame sends in a Paranoia that should delay just a little bit. Goes for the swing food, able to find a big kill. Trying to double down, but it's Jammies from the side. Lockdown is in, and the retake is on, but Jammies pushing on through, finds 3. It's just FNS in the clutch, and he's down to just a 1v1.
Again, this is big. The lockdown pushes out. He's Kohler over towards the back end. He's still going for the defuse. Gonna be able to go half. Kohler not pushing. FNS, he's trying to push his luck. Kohler is there for the frag back, and again, you got to feel for him for the fact that he still wanted to take it, but well, who knows? We might have had our first highlight moment, maybe the sweet play of the day. Who knows at this point? But you got to think about jammies and the amount of aggression. It was calculated aggression. Knew that the run it back was going to go back over towards that heaven side. And not only that, but with the amount of util that was still being pulled out from the heaven area, he had more than enough time to actually pivot and try to take up some easy frags. And if anything, Beast Coast had more than enough space on site, more than enough control on site to be able to trade. That was good from Jammies, but now Beast Coast, they need another one of those, as they still have a buyback, but it's not the most efficient thing.
Decent info off of that blinding light instantly, or guiding light, apologies. But this Hunter's Fury, gunning down long range, down towards the right side or left side of A main, given whichever perspective you're taking. Caboose, a bit of a misfire from the showstopper, but the nades will certainly bounce them back. A great smoke dropped already as Caboose still gets the kill. 4v3 Envy, they're holding on, and B-Dog tries to make a big play with a TP in the kitchen.
Yeah, but look at this off angle lower. Mame had the angle up onto bridge, but still waiting up for the actual oppression. Out goes an off shot. He's still below. Smoke goes up, and there you go. B-Dog actually explodes onto Mame. Mame knew that he was there. Just didn't know where exactly, but here we go. 3-on-3. Control being taken. That was Tig a little bit earlier on too, but this time B-Dog is there. So like you mentioned, rotation from Tig after Jammies makes the space on the A sites. 40 seconds left here, Sully. Spike will be able to go down, and Envy, they already expended a lot of their early util and actually trying to hold off the A and B site, but Jammies. This is one of those fabled one and done positions, but it could just work out in their favor. They have a crossfire and everything. Caboose takes up one, but Tig needs to follow up. Food goes down to low HP. Same thing with Caboose, but it just doesn't matter. They would go for an all or nothing on that back site. Just like that, Envy, yet another round in their favor.
I mean, you give credit where credit is due. Beast Coast, the idea is obviously there. You're in a man, you're down a man, you're definitely at a disadvantage. And in these positions, especially on retakes, you want to try and fight for an advantage yourself. So you get aggressive towards the back lines. The idea is there, but Envy, they've been on point so far. Specifically, both the Crashies and Food, they've been looking really good. Same thing with Caboose. I mean, you can't really battle against that. Envy have been looking sharp all game long. Beast Coast, it's a very difficult position to be in. However, they are biting back just a little bit. However, again, last round and a half, there's not too much to bank on here as Beast Coast. You want to get that possible third round, if at all possible. So you're looking for anything you can get here as Envy. If they get to double digits, then Beast Coast, it's going to be such a hard reset on the defensive side. And keep in mind, this is Beast Coast map, so you worry for the future, at least as to what's going to happen moving forward in this series.
Oh, well, absolutely. Beast Coast, again, this was really supposed to be their counter pick. Envy has played it very seldom in the last few weeks. Really at all. They've only played it 4 times, and at this point, Beast Coast, they were looking to counterpick. They were looking to completely throw off Envy. And in this round, it's Envy throwing them off. Crashy's holding back on site. Caboose on the flank. He has the info, and he's not going to be able to get the kill. Instead, it's still B-Dog holding up with a classic, trying to take up FNS, but still 10-2. That's the half done and dusted. And like I mentioned before, Envy, they seldom play this map. Not a whole much, but we've seen them heating up. Still ended up taking down what was Ainbox, still taking down Immortals on this map, but I don't really know what to tell you. If you're a team that's a little bit newer and you try to have a little bit of a counter pick, sometimes you put a little bit too much focus on it. It might leave the rest of their map pool a little bit more exposed.
Yeah, I will say it's, to me at least for Beast Coast, the Ice Blocks, it's very similar to the problem I think a lot of other teams on Ice Block had. It's very flat-footed, right? There's not a lot of diversity, at least on your attacking side. You kind of do the same thing over and over. And in this case, the same thing over and over was, let's hit A. And if we're lucky, if B-Dog has a TP, we can go back to the B side and maybe we can make a cheeky play over there. But no, Beast Coast, it was extremely flat-footed. So like you said, that map pool becomes a lot more conjugated and it gets a lot tighter for Beast Coast. So the rest of the series is a little bit frightening. But Envy, on the attack, a lot more reserved. Beast Coast trying to fight early down towards mid, but they're just watching these lurks. FNS and Crashies so sharp as they find 2 kills. And Envy, well, they have complete control of this A side as Beast Coast now. They have a 3v5 to try and take back, and because of those lurks, they have to take so much time to try and clear up these angles, ensure that they're not going to get picked off one by one. And Crashies looking for something here, and down at the very end. So at least a 3v4 now for the rest of Beast Coast. A little short.
Just a little bit. It's one of those pistol round strats that you see a lot from teams that it's a little bit more cheesy. You try to make as much space as possible early on, or really just try to surprise the enemy team. And well, I mean, we saw it from the mid side, right? Double mid take, try to clear up tunnels, trying to clear up kitchen, and then just try to see what you could get from there. But Envy was more than ready for it. They had one lurker over towards the backside. It was a little bit more of a default in a sense, but you can't really call it that. Envy was more than ready to just take over the A site, and Beast Coast only had a singular point of contact, just taking on information. So again, Envy, they're covering up all of their bases, and Beast Coast, it almost seems like again and again, they keep running into these traps that Envy keeps putting up, and we might see it again. SMG's out, and Envy, yet another early default, but this time Beast Coast has 2 players in the back lines of B. The nade might be able to take one, but the teleport comes in at a good time. Tig, and a nice off angle. B-Dog here to help. There you go. The double pick. There's still one around the corner. It's going to be Crashies with a little bit of information. Finally gets the kill back. Needs some more, but B-Dog, there you go. Explodes for 2. D-Cop in the back fighting alone. Can't exactly get the frag, but gets a whole lot of damage. 2 players for Envy trying to make their way on. Jammies with a whole lot of damage, but Mame still gets the kill. Oh man, Jammies, he's trying to go for it all. Just about a minute left. They were looking for the plant. FNS looking for the frag onto Jammies. Good quick one, but Mame still comes back with a trade back. 2v1. Still has the shrouded step. Again, not a whole lot. A singular bullet will do it. Good stuff from Kohler and Beast Coast this time. I mean, we haven't seen it too much before, but they're the ones that win out the early interactions. And I mean, kind of a forehead thing to say, but you get the kills, you get the round, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that it's all because Envy overlook one position, that second cubby as you're walking up. They use a paint shell grenade to flush, I think it was B-Dog, out of his position, make him use a shrouded step to evade and dash. And Envy, they overlook that single position. Tig forces a fight. B-Dog's able to trade it back on the food as he tries to swing back around, so they keep 2 players alive there. I mean, it's well done by Beast Coast, but a little bit, at least on the side of Envy, a little bit complacent, right? They leave their corners unchecked. It's not too big of a deal. You're up 11-3, so you don't have too many worries. They will light by, at least in this one. Stingers, what they can muster against Beast Coast after losing the second. And oh, caboose, straight on in, but it's food to find 2. Where are the trades back? Tig good for 1. He has the Phantom on the low ground, but they need just a little bit more oomph out of that Phantom. Spike will not go down just yet. The site not fully taken over as Crashies making that risk. And FNS catching the lurk. Spike goes down, but Crashies as well. A 2v2 with these trades going back.
1v2, Tig now. Got that Phantom like you mentioned before, but that's a perfect paranoia, but Tig is still alive.
Seeker's out.
Oh, almost runs into FNS. 3K is galore from both Tig and FNS, but oh, again, FNS, he had to be so ready for it because we didn't get a camera on him earlier, but he actually had to 180 the player rotating back over towards the A site. Still ended up getting that information over towards the mid side, and a quick take from Envy. Still ended up getting that control. Still ended up getting the damage, but I like the fight from Beast Coast. It's well timed, and they still ended up taking up Envy right when they thought that they were about to get comfortable off the post plant. I don't really know what to tell you at this point. Beast Coast, yes, they have the right options, but it just doesn't work out for them in the end. A little bit unfortunate, but in we go again. This time, Jammies, what on earth is this position? Could have sat on top of tunnel, but instead he sits on top of the wall that was set up in the middle of tunnel. That's very crafty, to say the least.
Ooh, Crashies, he's able to dodge. Trailblazer, heal up in the back at least. Decop, ooh, food. These lurks have been so good, at least for the side of Envy. And there's another food. Crashies, one by one, they're starting to fall. And a 3v1 Tig stood no chance. Envy, they make one heck of a statement here, taking the first map of Icebox 13-3. They look damn cold doing it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ice in their veins, Envy every round. I mean, we didn't see too many clutches either. It was just quick and clean.
Beast Coast on the hand, we set them up to being the underdog. They need to have an insane comeback, at least on this second map alone, where it's a map they don't have that much experience on. It's a map that Envy are super dominant on. I don't know what to look forward to because we know Envy to be very good. But what can Beast Coast provide us that we haven't already seen in what has already been displayed in that first map?
Let's see it, folks. Beast Coast has already played Bind once in this tournament with this lineup at least. Almost exactly the same agent comp. They ended up taking down a team known as the Radiant Roombas. What a name. The Radiant Roombas 13-7. So we could anticipate still Beast Coast to be ready and rare to go on this map. But it's quite a bit different in terms of composition. And Envy, they're looking to go fast and furious here on the A site. It's going to be Caboose trying to take early U-Haul control, but Kohler's more than ready for it. That Paranoia actually tags out 2 players, but no wide swing at least. The spike will be able to go down, but look at the amount of oppression. Still Beast Coast getting plugged out a little bit more. Tig still holding things down. Mummy around the corner with a trade back, and there you go. Now it's a 1v1. Mummy wins it out barely. Mummy was the one to just try to fight, just to try to clear U-Haul, not exactly trying to cover up the rotation or anything of the sort, but everyone else from Envy, they started going down, popping down like flies, and it was Tig in the back line to really get the frags in, but it's Envy to get the round.
Yeah, huge play from Envy here to get aggressive into those back lines. You saw FNS just in the corner, sitting there, so close. I mean, at least for James to get that 1-0 start, that's exactly what you need if you're Beast Coast. Envy no slouches. They going big, they going hot, and Beast Coast caught completely off guard off that quick take. I mean, this is a team that loves to default, and in this second round, we see exactly that. Early trips, there's that early smoke dropped by the Brimstone by B-Dog to get early information, but Envy are cheating it just a little bit. They've gotten full control of showers now. Do at least lose 1 life. Kohler good for the first. Now can FNS trade back? Stinger versus, I think, Stinger as well. And Kohler does double down and finds a second. So they trade things back. Full showers control. And this is a little bit risky from Envy. They're going straight into the site and they do recover. And a 2v3 with only 1 person left. Tig stuck in towards Octagon is going to try and lock this down, but he is flushed out by a Paranoia. A little bit of a struggle fight. Tig still coming out on top. Now it's Mummy again, left in a 1v1 clutch.
Oh, good rotation back, but man, I just can't believe that Tig was actually able to get 2 frags there. He was double flashed. Got flashed up by the curveball and then flashed out by the Paranoia. I mean, just a little bit unfortunate. Mame, he does go for the fake spike plant just with about 40 seconds left. You do have Kohler just about to swing. Fake TP, and Kohler, he's not going to overthink this at all. He still peeks the corner. And that's going to be a 3rd kill for him on the round. And a round back for Beast Coast. Like you mentioned, super risky for Envy to try to fight on Hookah like that. It was a double man setup.
Yeah, Envy, they realize they lose control back towards showers. They're like, okay, we need to get a move on. They know this isn't a hit. Take Hookah control as quickly as we can, and that's what they go for. Blast pack straight on in by Caboose. Now Envy, losing that second round, it's the dynamic where you kind of have to force here. You're going for a full buy. They don't have anything left over. They're going to try and battle back against Beast Coast, trade the rounds back and forth, see what they can get here. This time, it seems to be no defaults whatsoever. Single trip to watch the flank, but a 3-player stack here by Beast Coast as they head into the B site. Now, what is the contest here? Early on, Recon Bolt goes in. Jammy's holding with a curveball, but they've been revealed. They need to back away, and they are fighting here for Hookah. But Decop able to get out with 1 and easily back away here off of his paint shell grenade. Curveball does end up missing here. And Envy, it is a very sloppy round, but a huge double kill from Crashies, and food to find the player in the corner. Envy somehow turn it around. They were going down 1 by 1, but now they've got an advantage in a retake 2v3.
Yeah, we see that situation happening a whole lot on the B side of Bind, just a 1v1s. But, oh, no way! Through the smoke, Mame takes down Kohler. And not only that, but the neural theft. The network goes up and crashes. He doesn't care. His position's out in the open, but he's still there for the take back, and Envy's going to be able to take a second round, and yet another one of those fast rounds. But Beast Coast, they were still very much efficient in just holding down their own angles and just trying to go as cheesy as possible with the early interactions and allowing time for that rotation to come in.
Nice. So an eco round here now for Beast Coast. As it's a very scrappy buy, right? Guardian for Kohler, Bucky for Tig. I imagine there's not going to be too much. And a whole assortment of shotguns. We've been brought to Korea with the shotgun meta. See if they can get much. Early arrow in. We'll buy them some information. Kohler looking for a long-range engagement. Can he get something? We know his aim is nasty, but not good enough. As players full blinded, but Jimmy's still struggling to get the kill into FNS. 5v1 and B-Dog only with a shorty. You have 2 shots, which I guess equates to 2 chances at a kill, but from long range, Crashies will have his number. 3-1 Envy, keeping all 5 players alive, but Beast Coast, they will be able to buy here. Even if it is going to be extremely, extremely light, it's Envy here who have a full bonus moving forward into the 5th round.
Let's see what Envy actually wants to pull off in a round like this, because again, their economy is not going to get affected by it, but still with the A site that they were able to really target up only a singular time thus far in this half. Looks like they're going for a short bathroom split, and Beast Coast playing a little bit more, I guess you could say, conservative on this site. They only have 2 players playing around. Almost a full retake at this point if really they're not able to fight up on D-Cop. Oh, that Hunter's Fury hits immediately onto the run it back position. That's wonderful from Tig. We weren't expecting too much action out of this. And of course, it is going to be that full retake from Beast Coast, but the ulti is really the one that is able to make up space. So well done, at least early on from Beast Coast. But Envy, they do have their post-plant positions ready and rearing to go. The server is quite quiet, but Tig, he's still looking for more action. Jamie's on the front lines. No ultis to really act with, but a whole lot of util to make their way back in. Still FNS. Around the corner, same thing with Crashes, but in comes the first pick, and oh, never mind, it was Mame, and Mame goes down through the smoke, Sully. That is just so unfortunate, but Beast Coast, they're going to take that one back in a flash, but you got to give it up to the early picks. Yeah,
you take those early kills away from Envy, you take the early 1v1s at Beast Coast. All they've got to do is concede the site. You have that man advantage. You can play the retake. They use their utility also extremely well to clear out those angles, right? Hot hands going into that cubby, shock darts to force, I think it was Mame or Caboose off of the spike position, so huge on this Hunter's Fury. Take the find too, tracing the run it back position straight towards Showers is brilliant from him. And then FNS, 3-player swing, could have had a triple lineup, but it will be Beast Coast who take the bonus round away from Envy. And because it was a bonus, we can obviously expect Envy to have this full buy, but D-Cup will be posted up here now with a judge. Things can indeed get very, very scrappy. FNS has early info that B-Dog is contesting towards Showers alongside Crashies. They will try and sit and wait. More of a default setup here for Envy. And I wonder if Beast Coast will start to get a little bit eager. I'd imagine not, because D-Cup with that judge, you really can't start to push those lines. You kind of sit back and do what you can. And Envy, slow, very slow towards this A side. Taking their time. Early blast back and a paranoia straight in to clear out U-Haul. There's the control that Envy needed, and a TP from Mame into the heavens.
Okay, Mame, he was there to make space and potentially get a couple of rotation frags, but still nothing of the sort. But good stuff from Caboose to at least make the space on site. But Beast Coast, again, I do love this situation that they got going for themselves. It's just full retakes again and again. And Jammies, he takes on so much damage just from that nade alone. A singular bullet would do it. And not only that, but the run it back has to go all the way back. D-Cop, though, with the judge clearing up close. We didn't really expect the judge to be anything to make space for, but there you go off the retake. Still one person remaining. Trying to make his way back in. It has to be Jammies. Jammies gets the first pick, but Crashies has the crossfire, and that's going to be the round. Envy with a 4th, but it's Beast Coast off of the retake that didn't have too much util to actually fight back with. And Envy not exactly fighting that back line, just waiting for Beast Coast to cross their crosshairs.
And they concede super early. I mean, it's a great take as well towards U-Haul, the pressure that NV put super early on. Here's that blast pack play. Caboose gets early control, forcing players out of that position. Then they hold on to it with Food trying to retake. And, I mean, there's not much you can do if you're Beast Coast, right? Jammies with that run back kind of has to play his own game. As soon as you sit back to defend their spawn, his entire team is pressed into the site, and they all go down. And next thing you know, Jammies, that weird clutch situation where he's in that 1v3. So unlucky there, at least for him. But Beast Coast, essentially a full eco here. But B-Dog have spotted him out in that corner, but a judge doesn't matter if they know where you are. This thing can be so deadly. And a huge molly to force these players back. But Envy, because they realize the pressure towards this part of the map, they're going to try and take a different angle. And B-Dog pushing through with the judge. Good to find the first, but FNS immediate with that trade back. However, there is still Kohler, and they do need to flush him out now.
Again, they still know he's there, but he still has a crossfire into sight. But Food takes him back. Tig, we talk about the power of the shotgun, but he tries to go far with the right click. I swear we've seen so many clips from the Bucky just on Twitter in general and on Reddit, just it being a nuisance. But I don't think from that range, I don't think even the cheesiest of right clicks could be able to get a kill there. So still an attempt, but still Beast, because they didn't put too much economy into that round, and really they're going to be able to still readjust, reinvest back into this next round, really just trying to see what type of economic damage they could pull onto Envy. They weren't able to do all too much, but we're seeing just from those shotguns just an inclination of what could be a B take in the next couple of rounds, and Envy has to be noticing that too, just like, there's so many players rotating back with shotguns. This might actually be a little bit of a concern if they actually do try to approach B. And indeed, this time, though, we don't see the shotguns, of course, but the rifles back, and Beast Coast going for a little bit more of a flowy, I guess you could say, setup or formation. Two players back over towards B, and D-Cop, there you go. The showstopper able to take down one. Still one more. He's fully flashed, but he's still not dead. And not only that, but Envy, they're still trying to take up control in the A sites. Lurkers galore, but it doesn't matter. Envy still all over the place and still trying to aim down on a singular site. That site being, being able, what on earth is going on? Actually, what is going on? D-Cop was almost able to get the frag back, but Tig is here to try to help out. Food tried to go for a knife, and this round has gone to the wayside as Envy, they lose out all of their 1v1s, and indeed they lose out on the last one. Tig takes him down. It's a head scratcher of a round, but Beast Coast doesn't care. They take up a third.
Huge pressure from Beast Coast and a lot of the major extremities, like good control as well, down towards Showers in that early round. They do everything right here. Decop with a huge showstopper. Caboose caught midair, Quake Pro style, and then at FNS, he's always been a backdoor for Envy, but this time, Beast Coast read perfectly into this one. Like you said, third round here in Envy. They seem a little bit caught up. Flawless round as well for Beast Coast, a huge bonus, or at least a boost to their economy where they don't have to worry too much about a buy here. Now Caboose, early swing wants this control, but a Blaze Wall goes up. They're contesting this ult orb, at least giving the presence that they are. Now Crashies, this is a position that Envy have struggled with in taking. We'll see if they can fight back. Very well timed molly, at least from B-Dog to force him back away. Food. Caboose, not going to be able to evade at least the shock darts. It's a little bit of damage, and Beast Coast doing a really good job of controlling these major points. Showers has been theirs all game long, and then they end up falling back to the site. If you are Envy, how do you play these rotations? Because Beast Coast, on top of their toes so far, and Envy does look like a late take back towards this A site. Crashy's going to clear out the Showers. 2 trips leading into the site. And a retake. Beast Coast, early rotations in, as Food will try and open things up here on the Phoenix, but he's spotted out. He's going to vie for control here, at least into the back of U-Haul, but nothing for them. And B-Dog, through a huge smoke, finds the first into the players in Showers.
Jamie's taking it back, and not only that, with the molly up and a flash in, but no, that running back is right in the middle, and Food's able to get 2 off the lineup. D-Cop is there as the insurance policy, but Food made that scary in the end. Oh, I mean, Beast Coast, great hold in general as Envy. They just keep trying to fight back that back A line of sight. But just starting to think, right? Maybe just the imagining. Food, he ends up getting the lineup in the end. I don't know. I'm just starting to get scared a little bit as now Beast Coast, they're starting to heat up quite a bit. And we just haven't seen this from Envy at all. They're about to get reset if they lose this next one.
Yeah, not a lot to go with. Mummy with only just a stinger now. Envy, Maybe the take is you just go all out into a site, but again, Beast Coast are doing a good job controlling extremities. B-Dog getting a little bit curious, you know, taking that early peek. He's definitely been wanting to take these early fights, and he might just have it. Oh, Caboose, though, shuts him down. No damage dealt, and Jammies has to try and readjust the operator in his hand, but they go flying out. Tig full blind, but they still get the kills here, Beast Coast. 2 kills between the both of Jammies and Tig, and Crash. He's trying to sell something towards this A site, but Beast Coast and a 4v3 have all the information and know exactly what's up as Envy trying to reset back to the A site and shut down by Kohler. Sharpest of aims, and Envy down to 2.
All too quiet as now 2 over towards the short area. Trying to find really anything for them, and I like this from Beast Coast again. They've always been playing very loosely in the back of A. Being very reactionary in terms of the rotations too. With a whole lot of util on side, they're still very much confident. They have the camera in the back. Nobody needs to peek. With 30 seconds left, this Molly could take up so much time too. It's amazing setup, but FNS still around, sees the tripwire, not going to fall into it, but still Kohler with only 30 HP. He needs a well-timed swing. Like I said, that Molly could jump so much space. He has to use the Shrouded Step, so much information. Kohler's not going to be able to peek either, and Beast Coast, they know that there's only 2 players. They're going to go for a full retake at this point. FNS still around the corner. There goes the recon dart, but FNS doesn't care, walks right on by. Jammies. Again, he was the, I guess you could say the anchor on site, but still nothing of the sort. Still 3v2. Mummy, look at this position. Could be able to get one. Still low HP on another one. Trying to see beyond back. Could be able to go back over towards Bathroom, and indeed he does. FNS still holding up the cross. Not going to be able to get the kill. Still player in Bathroom. Mummy takes him down. 4v2. And Envy's the one that wins it out. Again, Sully, I love the pacing of the round. Just so disastrously slow. And to that extent, you could expect Envy to start to get a little bit more aggressive, but they stayed conservative. They stayed around the back line. They played up Crossfire, and FNS, he got ballsy at the end, still picking up frag after frag, and Mummy was there for the insurance policy.
Yeah, there are always going to be 2 types of styles on these retakes where you're down in a man advantage. You can either get super aggressive or you play the way Envy did. You sit back, you let them walk into you, and that's exactly what they did. One by one, Beast Coast started to fall. There were no double swings, at least for Beast Coast. It was only Envy challenging as a pair. FNS and Mummy doing everything they can to work that one out, and it's a well-deserved 6th round, but in comes Caboose, a chance at a double, but he gets nothing for it. Nearly goes down to the boom, but is able to recover as a swing out from Decop is shut down, and Envy, they've got the site for relatively free, no players lost, and only a run it back expended as these last 2 players, they'll be caught up in the tripwires. Now they know the flank is coming on in, and Beast Coast, it's Caboose to try and meet them. 2 players around this corner, so quick and so fast. And Envy, well, it's all theirs here. Great flash goes in. Kohler popping off with 2. Might get some more for his troubles, but nothing else. 7-4. Envy. Quick is the name of the game. And they take the side, and the round is over.
That one's a little bit more expected. Again, the economy wasn't exactly in the favor of Beast Coast, but going into this next one, a full buy, and they are adjusting their setup a little bit. This time, it's a 3-man setup in the back of A. And Envy, they've been playing a lot of defaults this half. And that has been efficient for the early picks, at least early on in the half. But later on, Beast Coast, they are starting to get a little bit of an inclination on what Envy is starting to go for in terms of what is their slow approach. They're starting to push out the situation a little bit more, and that could end up leading up to their downfall. But a singular man in hookah in a one-and-done position, Sully, this could just be disastrous, and indeed it is.
Oh my,
Decop goes down to food. His flashes are 2 on point. Still 1 over towards long. He needs to win out this battle, but Tig now in the middle of the smoke. He's getting banged out in the middle of it, but still going to be able to get a
Tig!
Get a third from Tig! Tig holding it down on his lonesome. Almost had a chance for another one, but Mummy takes it back. How on earth is Tig still alive, and how on earth does Beast Coast have the man advantage?
Playing such a cheeky angle, Tig. Those are the 3 biggest kills of this entire half to try and close it out with a 5th round here. Envy, we've seen them in the clutch before. It's the same position, a 2vx. But can they close it out? Jammies is going to wait for his teammates. And Envy, how do they play it? Again, 2 different styles, aggressive or conservative. Here, they're just going to sit back and try and wait as Beast Coast. All 3 players grouped up towards spawn here. Player caught up in U-Haul, and Mummy's already got an angle.
Ooh, Mummy's got it, but he has to go away from the flash. Could have been able to at least get a pick back to really make things even for the round, but even then, Crashies, he's been such a demon in the U-Haul side, but Kohler has the pre-fire, and Mame in an awkward position. Again, yet another one of those one-and-dones, especially over towards the U-Haul position, and all 2 players are remaining over towards that area for Beast Coast, and they have themselves a 5th.
Super clean to end it as well, Beast Coast. I mean, I say super clean, but it really was just Tig being the whole custodial crew for Beast Coast, mopping things up. That is an insane play as well. I mean, I don't know how Tig stays alive. We were kind of both completely baffled as to how Beast Coast were able to win that round. I mean, one single play essentially turned the tides. I mean, Beast Coast, this is a much stronger performance, right? It feels like everything seems to flow and mesh together a little bit more cohesively than what we saw in Icebox, and I'm happy for them. This play, Tig, he sits in a super unorthodox corner that I don't think anybody on Envy was expecting. I mean, even FNS going in completely blindsided, so good way to end the half, at least for Beast Coast. Nice momentum swing, and we see the Frenzy meta come back to fruition. Beast Coast not opting to get any utility up as they all go for Frenzies and armor, except for B-Dog, who will be looking to buy those Sky Smokes. Now, Envy, how are they going to adjust? Food himself has got a Frenzy in towards Showers, but he's given up that control. And Envy, when do the rotations start to happen? Is it's all just a default here from Beast Coast so far.
Well, he's going into this one. I've been saying that more North American teams, they're starting to pull more curated strats for the pistol round, and this time it's Beast Coast opting for an early default and an early rotation back. They're not able to get a whole lot of information over towards the B side, but if anything, less contact, less damage, it's going to make things a whole lot more disastrous in a sense in whatever side they end up aiming on. An Owl drone over towards Long, it might not be able to get that information, and all they know is that there's a Cypher looking over towards the B area. But they have no clue that all the players are around, ready and raring to go. There's a couple of players from Envy essentially ready to jump into that teleporter at really any point. So Beast Coast, they have to go right now. In comes the fast take. That recon dart is going to get a whole lot of information, but still FNS around the corner. Same thing with Crashies. Crashies ends up going down to Jammies, and Jammies makes it 2. Still Mame trying to fight over towards the long area. That's a beautiful position from Kohler in the fast rotation from the Envy side. Yes, it is efficient in terms of just taking up control. But Beast Coast, they're all here just trying to get that spike down. But wait a minute. 10 seconds.
Food can deny it.
Around the corner. Food has to get this kill onto B-Dog, but there's so many players wrapping around him. He might have been able to actually deny it, but I think the drama was a little bit more artificial. As Beast Coast, they still had control of sights. And Food, with only a singular clip from the Frenzy, you can only do so much. 6th round from Beast Coast, and finally they have themselves a little bit more space in a sense, a little bit more of a comfortable round as they're facing on against mostly classics. And no, never mind. I was about to say maybe the upgraded pistols, but they want to completely force up as, again, that's just how the double ecos are going to go going forward.
Revealing area.
Food, again, that early recon bolt, but he's going to try and cheat past the hot hands. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise, at least for Jammies. Food getting super aggressive. There are 3 players just around this corner. Takes out a curveball, trying to get aggressive. Curveball back, but a bullet to the face of Jammies. Stood no chance there as he's mowed down by the high fire rate of the Stinger. And now Envy. Adjustments made back towards this A side after gaining that control. They're going to instantly concede, but that's going to buy them time. A lot more info can be bought here. As you see Crash, he's kind of spotting out toward the B side. At least B long. Hookah has already been guarded up by a tripwire, so they've got info. They don't need to move any players just yet, right? You have the early TP as well for the both players of Envy. Rotations are going to be super quick with Beast Coast down a man and the utility available already for Envy. Round is going to be scary. They do have the information at least to where a couple are, and FNS takes the TP. So much damage dealt onto at least the first, as Tig takes a whole lot of damage off of that engagement. And Envy, they sent them packing, but there is still one. He takes the rotation. Crashy's looking for a fight, able to get one here as Envy now down to just 2. It's Beast Coast left in a 3v2, and Food looking for more. There is so much going on, and it's just Kohler in a clutch now.
Going in the clutch, not only that, but he's going to be able to tripwire back up towards the hookah area. So that's one less area that he really has to hard pay attention to. But here's the teleport, and he knows that there's players just rushing through. All players in teleporter. The flash goes in, and they have to check the corner. Food, what a round!
Extremely well done, at least from Envy, to push those extremities, really play super quick. Beast Coast not prepared whatsoever. I mean, Envy were completely I'd say out of the norm. They go super aggressive, take the fights early. Beast Coast, look at this early pick, big kill from Food at least, and then the second one here as well to catch rotations. Beast Coast again not aware whatsoever. And Kohler flicking straight down. Envy take an 8th here in the second round full buy. That's, I think, like the 3rd full buy we've seen from either team that ends up going their way. Beast Coast in the first half had their second round full buy go their way, so maybe it's just a theme here. But Beast Coast, after that one, will have to settle down on an eco, given the heavy investments they made into that second round of Vandals.
Satchel out.
They still opted to invest a little bit more than you would expect. Those upgraded pistols are still going to do a whole lot of damage if they can actually get their aim down, or at least get the right opportunities to do so. But, well, East Coast, they end up losing out on their first opportunity over towards the hookah area, and everyone from Beast Coast except for one rallying over towards the A side. And this is actually a double hold, close bathroom, and Food is really going to be the one to get the frags. That is such an unorthodox place to really pull up a crossfire, but that didn't really end up coming into fruition. That was just really me paying a little bit too much attention to the radar. But in we go as, well, Envy, they have themselves a 9th, but Beast Coast off of a little bit lighter of an investment. Still, the firepower was in their favor if they ended up wanting to push. The rifles are back. And now Envy, they find themselves in yet another bonus after we thought that really the tides were changing. After that pistol round win, Beast Coast, they looked a whole lot more confident, I guess you could say, but that was really more maybe undivided or really just mal-put confidence.
Revealing area. Cage trigger.
Ooh, early contest in both Showers and Hookah. Food caught full blinded here, but they don't actually push through the Cypher cage. Food can sit back and wait. Cam goes up, info revealed, pushed down at least from Caboose towards Showers to get even more information. So Envy cheating super heavily towards this A side. And even a second smoke dropped by Mame.
I have the spike.
Prevent even further information here, at least from the side of Beast Coast. But rotations coming super slow after that early contest. I mean, Beast Coast don't get anything out of it. They've got little to no control here. Because they forced them away, FNS will make an early rotation back towards the A side to give a 3-player stack here. No trip set up though. And are they ready? Early run it back goes in. The nades will try and keep Jamsey at bay and try and separate them. But a Hunter's Fury from Crashies sent down range. What can he get from it? Only just a single kill. And Beast Coast once more are stagnant after a single push.
They're snagged in, but they still have the util to use. Indeed, out goes the smokes. Caboose up at U-Haul. He does have at least a second player there for the trades, but Tig doesn't want to take it on. Food already rotating back, actually. He's going to come in at almost a perfect time over towards the bathroom area, but he actually needs to execute in a sense. FNS gets one back. Same thing with Crash. He's Tig now remaining in a 1v3. So many angles to actually look over, and there you go. Food gets the kill back. And it had to come down to Envy again, just having good pressure over towards the choke points. They had 3 players early on, at least, in that area to be able to hold down in terms of util. But you got to think of how slow Beast Coast ended up going down really near the end of things. And that came down to the pressure of Envy. That was well done.
Half buy now left for Beast Coast. Super difficult situation to be put into, right? You understand now that you lose this round, it's almost a gimme, at least for Envy. That puts them in an 11th. And then your next buy, your full buy, is where everything is on the line. And oh my, Envy, Food already taking an early fight, but here comes the Bucky. D-Cup looking for a little bit of extra, but there are 3 players here. And the Bucky, well, it's quick and while it's flashy, it's not going to be enough to take them down. They try and respond here, Beast Coast, with the use of the Hunter's Fury, but it's Kohler again. His aim is sharp, but is it good enough to win out this clutch? I doubt it. 1v3, Paranoia already in his face. They have control of the spike now as well. It's unfortunate, I'd say, to say the least, for Kohler. The cam spots him now as well. Might get peeked on here by FNS, and he is just stuck towards Octagon. Nothing you can do. You can maybe salvage a kill here or there if you're lucky. Get that ult charged up, and he might just get it. Well, there's the guarantee neural theft into the next round. Kohler! 3 kills! I bit my tongue for a second as you see the flash.
Oh my God.
Kohler.
Why is this man a free agent? Tell me
That
this
is
right now.
monstrous.
Kohler, one of the best individual aimers in NA. He proves it again. What an absolute madman.
Dude.
4 bullets, 3 kills. He makes it look easy. And again, not in a position at all to be able to win that round. I mean, really his entire team was an eco, was a 4-spy, but he was still able to hold it down. So Envy now a little bit shook, but not in terms of the economy. They still have everything to work with, but man, oh man. We see some life back in Beast Coast and specifically Kohler.
I have a curse. Every time I say the round is done and dusted, I remember back to the Envy Immortals. I am mind boggled. Beast Coast. Life given back instantly. That was Envy's round to lose, and it surely was. Beast Coast pull out some magic. Now, Food trying to get aggressive. They need to reconcile with that fact. And you talk about life. Beast Coast have got a whole lot of it. They sit back, they wait, retaking these positions now. And we'll see if Envy can bounce back after an insane round like that from Kohler. He's going to try and take an early peek out towards Showers. Now, despite them trying to retake certain positions, they ultimately concede. And Envy, they can cheat a little bit. TP available, which we've seen them take time and time again, as Decop slowed by a trap wire and won't be able to continue without that second blast back. Envy, rotations are being made. Time is being bought. There's nothing here. One in the back, it's FNS, and crashes towards Evil. Here comes the fight, and out goes FNS for 1. Trades go back, it's a 2v3.
30 seconds left.
Good job through the smoke too, coming in from Sig, but now in we go. Decop takes down Food. Last person, his position is already revealed. Mame needs to repeat the magic pulled off by Kohler in the last round. It's so tough from this position too. Tries to go for the TP. That does bait out a little bit of pressure over towards the smoke. They're still checking over, but of course, could have been a fake, and indeed, they're still checking it. Decop gonna be able to get another one on the round. Beast Coast with an 8th, and that one was just clean, Sully, with a whole lot of pressure in the back lines.
Super slow as well from Beast Coast. I mean, the fact that they're able to buy that much time, Envy, with Decop not having a second blast pack, it's amazing that I'd say Beast Coast were able to get onto the site with little to no resistance. Like you said, instant trade on FNS, who was kind of X-Factor. Shot through the Cypher cage. Works out perfectly. Now, Beast Coast, 8th round on the board. Envy looking a little bit lackluster now in terms of a buy, as they're forced down to whatever they can muster. An eco here, Phantom for FNS, Bucky's, Sheriff, Stingers all around, whatever they can get going. Caboose forced away. That is a huge orbital strike and gives them all this control, where now Beast Coast, they now set the tone. They set the pace. Where do they want to go? They can back it up if they want, which they do. And Envy have to respect the fact that Showers is no longer theirs, and there could be anybody sitting there lurking.
Decomp is a very important position here. If he does actually want to fight up this rotation from Envy, he would have to, at least right when Beast Coast makes their pop on B, be ready to take up that TP position.
Revealing area.
But even then,
He'll be revealed.
Cage triggered.
Finesse, they know that he's still over towards the long area after that shot. But again, I was mentioning more of the rotation frags, but they still have the spike over towards the A side. This is just a really good fake. And they start to realize it too. A whole lot of movement, a whole lot of sound being heard by Mame. Has a great position, going to be able to get one. Again, it is a one and done, and nobody's going to be here to actually trade him out. If anything, Mame just has to hold it down. Caboose with a couple of shots, but he can't hit anything. Hunter's Theory going in, little bit of damage. Tig and B-Dog still getting kills back. Food with none other than a Bucky still takes one back. He does get traded. FNS with another one. Jamie's with a second. 1v2 coming in now for Crashies. And this might be an easier task now.
Left.
One player down completely low on HP. There's another one down too. Crashies only has a frenzy to work with, but he can make some magic. And he goes.
No.
Gonna be able
No.
to get one. Only one person remaining. A gust of wind could take him down. B-Dog. This is really the challenge that could take Beast Coast forward for the rest of this game, but he has to get this cross up right. Crashies, a singular shot to the body, does it, and he wins out the 1v2. Unreal. Beast Coast, they had the right setup, but Envy, well-timed rotation, and they get it done for an 11th.
They expected the sling from front APC as well. Crashies does an amazing job there to dance around that position and play the waiting game. Beast Coast completely unaware as to what was going on. And the fact that he gets the first kill into Jammies, who, like you said, was the high HP player. And then B-Dog, a gust of wind. It's Crashies who slams into him. Huge play from Envy. I mean, we go back into the round and it's like, well, this was a beautifully done by at least the side of Envy. Great setup, at least from Mame right off the bat. And then you have Caboose sitting in the back as well. Food playing an early rotation. Envy did everything to at least enable the frags that they got. Great delay. Bucky scares them off. Hunter series from Crashies. Perfectly done from Envy, and Beast Coast, all that momentum is swept under the rug as Envy take their 11th, and they're riding that high. They're playing confidently. An early contest, Food looking for a swing, might have a chance. Decomp not ready, and a Boomba behind him just in case. Perfectly done here as Caboose bouncing on through. Envy now with a 5v4 man advantage.
Not only that, but Envy very reactionary off the rotation
Crashes.
back. The only reason why they can do that is because they have a player all the way towards their enemy spawn, just getting that information. But watch out, Caboose needs this frag, and indeed he's gonna trade it out from beyond the grave. But that's well done from B-Dog, clearing out at least the U-Haul area. But there's still 2 players around. Fat Flash, you still have Food, 2 players remaining. Reminder that you do have that flank over towards short. They might not need it, but indeed they need it. In comes Crashies now. Yet another 1v2. Jamie's an absolute legend, but in we go. Crashies with the fake
shock dart.
defuse.
Knows where he is.
Shock Dart has another. There you go. He does have another Shock Dart. And that's indeed going to be the round. Crashies gets the kill right through the wall. And Sully, it's just an unfortunate situation at the end of things. Envy, they had the man advantage. They were able to swing off of each other, still take up those 1v1s with the trade potential. By the end of things, Crashies, he had been setting up that flank since the very beginning of the round, essentially, when they ended up getting full long control. Beast Coast, they're taking up all the options possible on site, but Envy, they always seem to have some sort of trick up their sleeve. And indeed, those tricks, they're accumulating to a whole show at this point, because folks, Envy 12-8, they just need one more to move on to the round of 16.
There are very small chances here for Beast Coast. 6 out of 7 for B-Dog and Tig. Might force them to get more aggressive towards these ult orb areas, but B-Dog seems to have no interest in the one in showers. However, Tig, you talked about Crashies being able to get that early control, have basically no risk whatsoever pushing all the way down. Well, that's because of those early contests. Envy realized, well, they draw players, they find an early frag towards the mid position that draws players away. And this time there are no early kills. Crashies has to sit around and try and work out where the Owl Drone or what kind of play they're gonna go for here, Beast Coast. There is a single trip here. NS right underneath. Food is going to try and retake it. Oh, a free kill onto B-Dog. Sent through the TP. And same thing here for Food, as it is going to be just Kohler to take him down finally. Run it back as now for the side of Beast Coast. As FNS playing around. It's Jammies who gets sent back here. And FNS still holding this angle. But they've held on to Hookah and Envy. They've got all the control in the world now. And Beast Coast, it's Crashies on the flank. Crashies for 2. And it might just be the game here. As a 2 versus 5. Now make it just 4, as again it's Kohler coming up big, but a 1v3 to try and close it out here, and it's being hunted. Hunter swinging, but the second doesn't connect. He's been given a chance, but it's a small one at that.
Still has the util. Great smoke out too. There's going to be nobody on site. B-Dog still has to clear out little by little. Shots right on through the smoke, and he's going to go down to the frenzy through. Beast Coast with their finest of efforts, but it's Envy at the end with a 13-8 win on Bind and a 2-0 win in the round of 32.